You can feel the vibration getting down to that deeply embedded dirt. You can get to real awkward places. Look at that. Isn't that great? It's fantastic for doing cars. You haven't lived until you've done your car with it yet, because it really does the seats beautifully. You can get to all those awkward places. There we go. Nice and easy. And what about staircases? That's always been a bit of a problem with the Powerhead. Well, here we go. You can clean a staircase with no problems. And it's fantastic for cleaning the rise of the staircase. All you do is turn it sideways or upside down like that and clean the rise. Excellent job. And there we have it. There we go. Mary, you try it. Peter, you try it. Get them involved with it. Get them to fall in love with it. Now, like I mentioned, this is my very best friend. And it is brand new. So let me tell you how we're introducing it. The Rainbow Mate special introductory offer. I need to show the Rainbow to a friend of yours within the next 24 hours. If you will help me set that appointment now and give me the names of 7 other friends, I will give you credit of 2 demonstrations towards the Archimate and give you the Rainbow Mate free right now. You see, you've already identified the 4 people. You've already got those names. Now, like I mentioned, this is my very best friend. Which is your very best friend on this list out of these 4 people that we can actually call right now to set up that first appointment? In fact, Mary, could we go to the phone right now and call your very best friend? Which one is it?
Ken and Ann, I don't know when I've enjoyed being in someone's home as much as I have you. I really appreciate you treating me so nice. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I want you to earn that Aquamate, so I'm going to help you do it. Now, this list of names that you gave me, would you pick out the person that you think you might be able to count on the most to take a look at this machine?
My brother John.
Your brother John, wonderful. And what's his wife's name?
Mary.
Mary, okay. I'll tell you what. I'm going to call, and you call out the number while I dial. Now, this is within 72 hours, so you get a double credit if they look, okay?
That's great.
All right. Give me the number.
592.
592.
4900.
4900. Hello, I'd like to speak to John. Oh, this is John. Wonderful. My name is Alan Bliss, and I'm over at your brother Ken's house, and he asked me to give you a call. Here, just say hello to your brother.
Hi, John.
John, I just showed to Ken and Ann a fantastic product called the Rainbow. And he has an opportunity to earn an expensive gift if you will just take a look at it. You don't have to buy anything. You're not obligated in any way except to take a look. Now, he said if there was anyone that he could count on to look at this product for him, it would be you. So what I would like to know is, which would be better for you? They have to do this within 72 hours. Which would be best for you? Tomorrow afternoon around 5:30, or tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow evening around 8:30? Okay, wonderful. 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. Wonderful. Okay, like I said, you don't have to buy anything, but you do need to look. All right, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 5:30. Thank you. Wonderful. Got your first one. That's great. Now, all you have to do is get 2 more, and you've got your Aquamate. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. While we're hot, let's call another one. Ann, how about picking out someone that you think you can count on to take a look?
My sister Susan.
Susan, wonderful. Let me give her a call. Call out the number, would you?
Okay, it's 552
552
25
25
24.
24.
The importance of making sure that there's a complete follow-through comes down to eliminating something we call the lost lead. Now, there's 3 types of lost leads. The first one's the one that's never even gotten. The second one's the one that's never turned in. And the third one's the one that's just never followed through on. All of us know who the leads belong to, but because you believe they belong to the office does not mean your sub-distributors believe that same theory. We've established the fact that a lead is worth $10. If it's worth a $10 bill, why would a sub-distributor so easily let those $10 bills just slip through their fingers day in and day out? From the very beginning, the sub-distributor must be taught, and remember that word because you're going to hear it a lot from me. They must be taught the essentials of what it means to follow through. There are 2 reasons a dealer needs to follow through on the leads. The first one is because that very lead can become his next sale. His next sale he turns into money. But all of you know that money does not always motivate a dealer. The more important thing that a dealer needs to be taught is real obligation to the customer. One night he's begging for the lead, the next day he forgot who he sold to. If there's an obligation in a dealer's mind, an attitude, where the dealer believes that the lead he has in his hand is the one he needs that will complete his mom's or his aunt's or his sister's lead program, would he not follow through on a much stronger basis than he does with the leads from Mr. and Mrs. Jones? That attitude needs to be kept alive in your sub-distributor's office and in your dealer's mind all the time. Each sub-distributor has to be able to teach a dealer how to call his leads. He needs to be able to teach him how to set aside the time to do it effectively. He needs to teach a dealer how to work along with the lead giver and follow through all the way to the end. For a sub-distributor to want to do this, he must have an equitable gift program. I've seen the tragedy with sub-distributors where they'll stop following through on their lead program just short of having to give the gift. And that is more than a tragedy. We need to teach sub-distributors that a good, equitable, legitimate lead program is what makes their office fly. Make sure your sub-distributors know how to bonus dealers for leads, not penalize them. Nobody does anything when they're penalized. Make sure the dealer gets the recognition he needs when he follows through all the way, when he gets that gift delivered. The bonus theory often eliminates lost lead A and lost lead B. Lost lead B, the ones that are never turned in, those aren't leads. In a good, supervised, well-put-together office, you have a marketing director. That marketing director has to have the experience of a policeman because that's his job. He polices the leads and has full control over them. If a dealer knows that it's expected of him to turn in the leads, then the marketing director inspects the leads. All of a sudden, the dealer begins to do both of those by habit. Incidentally, an inspected lead often becomes a higher quality lead. The sub-distributor that doesn't have control over his leads, who allows the dealer to have control over the leads, also allows the dealer to have control over the office. He loses the ability to decide how many sales his office is going to write because if there's no lead follow-through, there are no appointments, and with no appointments, there's no demos, and with no demos, I don't have to tell you, there's very few sales. Type C of lost leads, they're the elusive ones. You've heard this many times from other people. I taught them how to get leads. I saw them turn them in, so now where are all my appointments? Now you see, that's the true difference between supervised offices and unsupervised offices. The number of unused leads in our sub-distributors' offices are staggering. If we could go in and scoop up all their unused leads, and then we went by standard percentages of setup, hold up, closing, and so on, we could probably triple the sales in each of their offices. Now, here's a few simple but what I consider vital guidelines that distributors should go by and we should teach our distributors to do. First of all, does the marketing director or the distributor, in the case of no marketing director, although it's hard to believe they wouldn't have a marketing director, but right, Tom? But do they collect the leads? And when they do collect the leads, is there positive recognition given to the dealer for getting the leads and turning them in? Does the marketing director make an initial thank you call, like Sherry said? Is that thank you call made the very next day, buyer or non-buyer? See, during that call, the marketing director does 4 things. 1, he introduces the office. 2, he confirms the participation in the Whale of a Deal program. Thirdly, he gets any green lights to go ahead and call people that are helping on her program. And 4th, he can reintroduce and reoffer the opportunity. And let me make a note here. Never let anybody make the mistake of waiting till after that rescission period. The customer that is on the verge of canceling their order is more likely to do so if they do not get a call than if they do get that call. Very often cancellations are averted because the confidence of what they just purchased, the product and the office they purchased it from, becomes instilled in the customer when they hear from a real manager in a real office. Secondly, the phone call is very important because many good lead programs actually start when the marketing director has encouraged the customer and given them a pep talk about their lead program. Does the marketing director monitor the lead folders of the dealer, or does he just hope the dealer gets through it every day? Is the door opener a good quality gift so that the appointments can be set? Does the marketing director keep in touch with the customer to apprise them of the status of their program, let them know how they're doing? Does the marketing director or dealer call the customer for replacement leads? Not all, the leads they write down that night are not written in stone. They can replace their leads. Does the office use the owner progress boards, and do they keep them up to date so that a dealer or a marketing director can look up at any time and see the status of the program? Do they extend the 14-day period if it's necessary to help the customer get the gift? I can't tell you how many extra appointments we get because a small courtesy was granted to the customer trying to get a gift. Does the marketing director and office have an adequate system of logging in the demos that were procured from a customer so they can intelligently, and catch that word, intelligently review it with the customer or the dealer? Not just, yeah, I think we saw your friends the other night. I'll check on it next Tuesday. Is a courtesy call made to the customer to let them know that their program's completed, to thank them for their assistance, and to let them know when they can expect their gift delivered? Now, here's the most important thing. Is their gift delivered promptly? Note that word, promptly. You see, the sooner an owner or a non-owner receives their gift, not promised their gift, receives their gift, the more apt they are to call their friends and encourage them to keep up with their lead effort. A delivered gift speaks a lot louder than any words or promises you can tell your customers. The owner's lead potential isn't necessarily done because their program's completed. A happy customer can be called back a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years later and encouraged to get more leads. They've now spoken to a whole lot more people over the course of the time they've had their rainbow. It's a good idea to have something to offer them. A professionally printed gift certificate for supplies or something like that almost always gets their cooperation. The real key factor in what following up we call is called PIF, and you hear it running around. It sounds like something women get, but it's not. PIF stands for personal interest factor, and that comes from your dealer and your distributor. Is your customer given every courtesy that you can possibly give them to make them want to participate in your lead program? Now, the follow-up on referrals is really only as good as the dealer's explanation, and only as good as their enthusiasm for the program in the home. The customer booked appointment, which several people have spoke on today, where the customer will call and book the appointment before the dealer leaves the home, is the best start to a completed program. The lead giver who gets right on the phone definitely understands their part in assistance. When they can get on the phone and set an appointment, there is no reason for them to say they didn't understand the program. They've already started the program. Giving them double credit, say, when they can book you an appointment that the dealer can run 24, 48, 72, whatever your program is, hours after the initial call, that double credit means everything, because I think it was Bonnie that mentioned a customer will work twice as hard for something that they have so they don't lose it than they will for something they don't have already. On a customer booked appointment program where that's the beginning of the plan, when the customer is given the double credit, they will make sure that they complete their program because they're afraid they'll lose the equity they already have in the program if they don't complete it. Now, provided the sub-distributor does install a follow-through system, the real question is how well do they follow through on it? We must be able, as their leaders, to inspect them until they too do it merely out of habit. It's a good idea to have some type of wall chart, or at least a chart that can be looked at out in the open, to where you can track in, the leads contacted, the appointments set, the appointments run, so on and so on. However, the most sophisticated chart in the world is meaningless if the distributor and the marketing director don't know how to use the information and don't know how to fix the problem. Sometimes only through our inspection of these numbers for them do they begin to realize how important that information is. The visual reality of looking at that board and seeing that they cannot get 10 appointments booked if they've only contacted 3 people simply makes light bulbs finally go off in their head. Now, each one of us knows how vital it is to follow through on anything. That the ability to follow through is what got each one of you here today. Our sub-distributors need to know how to gain that supervision within their office. The reason that my marketing director has complete control over the leads in our office is because I have complete control over my marketing director. The main reason, if something goes wrong, I only have one person that I can point the finger at and go to. There's only one person I need to get the answers, and there's no lost time of how to fix the problem immediately. I know all this because I've had 2 kinds of offices under me. I've had the well-supervised offices with real good distributors, with good marketing directors who had their stuff together. They had the answers to questions. When I call them each morning, the answers are there immediately. They know what they're doing, they know what buttons to push, and they know how to make things happen. I've also had the distributors under me that have no supervision within their office. They just kind of take what comes. These distributors only have vague answers. They also have far fewer sales. Before a dealer or a key person goes into distribution, I really believe that the most important thing they must be able to do is support every desk in an office. They must be able to support the distributor's desk, they must be able to support the dealer's desk, the trainer's desk, but most importantly, the marketing director's desk. They must have, again, that learned and taught ability to keep not only themselves on the rug, but the people that they hooked up to their wagon. The weaker my sub-distributors were as dealers at the marketing program, the weaker they were at getting the leads all the way followed through and the gifts delivered, today are my weakest distributors. But on the other hand, ultimately, the stronger that key person became in his ability to go from start to finish with a lead that came in the door all the way to a delivered gift, today are my top producing distributors. Thanks.
Now I want to talk to you just for a minute right now about Saturday and what makes Saturday a big day and why Saturday ought to be one of our biggest days. Why is Saturday the biggest day? Well, number one, we know that more people are home on Saturdays than any other day of the week. All of us are in the in-home sales business, aren't we? We sell in the home. Now, if we sell in the home, then we've got to sell when people are home. And the day when most people are home is going to be Saturday. Saturday has more people home than any other day of the week. Second reason Saturday's so good. There are more husbands and wives together on Saturday than there is any other day of the week. More husbands and wives have Saturday off together than any other day that we have. Now, you and I know how important Saturday is, if you think about it. If we're going to count down a brand new class of new people, when do we count them down? We count them down over the weekend. Because we know that the time that they're going to have a chance to see the most people and get on the most presentations is going to be over the weekend. That's how important Saturday is. Saturday is the biggest day of the week. There is an old saying that says if the best time to go fishing is when the fish are biting. And if we're going to fish, if we're going to put our line in the water, we need to put the line in the water the day that we're liable to get the bite. And the biggest bites are going to come to us on Saturdays. They say that there's more money spent on Saturday than there is any other day of the week. People spend on Saturday. They work all week to spend and to go through their money on Saturday. Now, if this is going to be the trend anyhow, we need to take advantage of it. As I'm talking to different distributors, many of them today have made the comment to me, said, Paul, you know, I would do a lot better if I could just have more full-time people. If I just had more full-timers. How many people in here have ever thought about that? Boy, if I could just get more full-time people in the business, how much my sales would go up. Well, you know, there is an opportunity for us to have more full-time people. If you think about it, Saturday is the one day a week that everybody we have working for us could be full-time. A part-timer has an opportunity to be full-time on Saturday. A full-timer has an opportunity to be full-time on Saturday. Saturday is the best day for the dealers to work in our business. At the meeting here a couple days ago, we had a Superstars meeting where the superstars were all the people that were over $600 a month and very many of them over $1,000, and they were talking about what their mix is in dealers. 70%, they said, in most cases, were part-time and about 30% full-time. Well, you know, if we have 70% of our dealers on a part-time basis, then we know exactly how important Saturday has to be. Because Saturday will represent the day that we can get the biggest crew to work and the most people in on presentations. Not only are the people home on Saturdays, but we have access to the largest dealer count on Saturday than any other day of the week. Now, you and I know that we need Saturdays as distributors. Sandy, I think, mentioned in a talk here not long ago that he had solicited some information, and it seems like, if I can remember correctly, that in one region, they found out they were only supplying about 60% of the wants. If they look at what the dealers wanted, as opposed to what they did, the want, got, and did board, they only did about 60% of what they said they wanted. Now, in a lot of cases, the thing that can turn this around for us is going to be Saturday. Saturday will be the biggest day that we have for part-time people. Part-timers, Saturday has to be the business or the day that they do business. Now, I realize that there's a lot of offices that aren't open on Saturday. There's a lot of offices that open on Saturday but maybe don't stay open like they could, but I wonder if they know what they're risking or what they're giving up on Saturday. And I want you to think about this for a minute. If we really give a good Saturday opportunity, if we open the office and we really promote the Saturday business, how many of these dealers do you think that we're losing might be able to go out on a Saturday and the Saturday be just that day that they end up on a demo or two that keeps them in the business? How many people might we not lose if we would just give them the opportunity to work and to work well on Saturday? Now, another situation. How many times might we have a part-timer that really sees what the real opportunity for Saturday, for full-time in our business is, thanks to a Saturday? He comes in, the only time that he's going to have an opportunity to really see how much money can be made and how many sales can possibly come about is going to be on a Saturday. And if our organization is open and we're really promoting Saturday business, it might be just that one day that turns a part-timer into a full-timer in our business. Our dealers need Saturday. Saturday is the biggest day that they're going to have. A big Saturday is going to give you a big week. A big week is going to give you big months. And big months are going to give us all big years. Saturday can be the key to us really promoting and really kicking the thing forward. Our dealers, our marketing directors, our sub-distributors all need the Saturday business. Saturday could just be the day that turns a lot of these small offices into decent-sized offices. Saturday could be just the very day that can make it possible for our marketing directors and some of our smaller offices to start making a better living in the business. How many of us have these smaller offices and these smaller organizations that are constantly struggling simply because we can't keep good management in there? We can't keep a good marketing director in there. We can't keep a good training manager in there. And the reason we can't keep a good management employed in that office is simply because they don't have the sales that will give us the money to pay that management that we need. Saturday can be the day that turns it around and makes it possible for us to afford a good marketing director and to afford a good manager in the business. Saturday can help us in many, many ways. But you know, if we're going to get Saturday business, the first thing that you and I are going to have to do is we're going to have to target Saturday. We're going to have to target Saturdays as being the day. We have a big Saturday that's automatically going to cause the dealer demo average to go up. If the dealer demo average goes up, the net sale per dealer goes up. If the net sale average goes up, the next thing that happens is our net per outlet goes up. And if our net per outlet goes up, all of our business is going straight up. As a matter of fact, when I was putting this presentation together, Sandy and Tom had both asked me to try to make a guesstimation as to how much of an increase we could get from Saturdays. What might happen if we really get behind Saturday and push? Because if we push for a big Saturday, When those people start having those instant sets the next week, when those people start going on the Aquamate program, what might happen to this thing and how big might it catapult us? You know, I'm going to tell you, when you sit down with a pencil and paper and you try to figure that out, it'll absolutely amaze you. There's no real way to calculate it. I can tell you this, you get behind Saturdays and you start pushing Saturdays, and those big Saturdays are liable to be the very ticket that causes a lot of our distributorships to double and even triple in size in a relatively short period of time. Big Saturdays is going to make the thing that makes it possible for our part-time people to make a real living in the business. Good Saturdays is what's going to show a guy or give a guy the opportunity that he sees that, hey, if I can make this money part-time in the business, there is really a full-time opportunity in Rainbow because of the money and the sales that I've seen are possible because of a Saturday. What might happen to the rest of us if we were to really go back and decide that we're going to hold some really exciting Saturday morning meetings? I don't know about you, but I love to go to a good meeting. I love to go to a meeting where I see a lot of good speakers, and yesterday, I'll tell you what, listen to some of these guys up here yesterday and all the speeches, it made me excited. I got excited about the business because every one of them, they had a lot of good information, but they were all very inspirational. They motivate you, they get you going, they make you want to work. I like going to a meeting like that. I also love holding those kind of meetings. But you know something? So do our dealers. Our dealers love to go to a real good meeting. Our dealers love to attend a good meeting. We like to hold a good meeting, and if we would zero in on this big Saturday meeting, it could be the thing that would just catapult us on to another level. And again, remember, if we get a big Saturday, it's going to give us a big week. And if we get the big weeks, we're going to have the big months. We need to promote Super Saturdays. Our dealers need Saturdays. Saturday's the very day that could make their living in this business if we get behind it and we promote it. As a distributor, if I wanted to know what was going to be a big month or how big this month was going to be, the first thing I did was get a calendar out. And I would look at the calendar and I'd say, okay, how many days in this month? 31 days. How many Sundays this month? And I would count the Sundays and deduct that. I would see if there were any holidays during that month. And I knew if I had a month that had 31 days in it, that there were no holidays, we were going to have a big month as a distributor. Now you guys do that. You do the same thing yourself. That's why March and October are big, big months. They have 31 days with no holidays. There's a chance for everybody to get big sales during those 3 months. But you know something? There's another way for us to get a lot of sales. What if I told you you could start promoting tomorrow, and instead of 30 and 31-day months, you could have a 35-day month every month? And I'll tell you how you get a 35-day month. A good Saturday is worth any other 2 days. You promote Saturdays, and you automatically have a 35-day month if we're smart enough to promote it. A guy says, hey, I want to take a little time off. Take it off. Take it off Sunday, and don't go in till Monday afternoon or Monday evening to open your office. If you're going to take a day and a half or 2 days off, make it Sunday, Monday, but whatever you do, don't give up the very day that your people need, the very day your sub-distributors need, and the very day that all of us need to make this thing fly in a big, big way.
So today I want to show you a demonstration using tools that can be equated to the Rainbow demonstration, using segments.